Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into a topic that I think is really important,
Yeah.
and that is how rental assistance programs
Mhm.
are helping young adults in Texas who are aging out of foster care.
Okay.
We're talking about these housing programs that can really make a difference
Yeah.
in whether or not some of these folks end up homeless.
Right, right. It's
So,
a really important safety net for them.
yeah, and we're going to be looking at a success story from the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services.
Yep, DFPS.
Okay, so let's set the stage here a little bit. In Texas, we're talking about almost 1,200 young people
Wow.
aging out of the foster care system every year.
Every year.
And then nationally, it's estimated that about 31 to 46% of them experience homelessness by the time they're 26.
That's a huge number, right?
Yeah, so these are really vulnerable folks.
They are. And, you think about it, they're transitioning to adulthood without the support systems that most of us rely on,
Yeah, it's tough enough as it is.
right?
But then to not have a family to turn to or
Exactly.
a stable place to live just makes those challenges seem insurmountable.
Yeah, insurmountable. And that's why these rental assistance programs are so vital.
Yeah.
They provide that crucial safety net,
Yeah.
that stepping stone to independence that they really need.
So tell me a little bit about the programs. What's Texas doing to help these folks?
So Texas actually has 3 different programs that we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
The Foster Youth to Independence, FYI,
Yeah.
Family Unification Program, FUP, and the Section 811 Project Rental Assistance, or PRA. So each of these has like a different focus and eligibility criteria.
Okay, so let's start with the FYI.
Okay?
The Foster Youth to Independence. That
Yeah.
seems like it was the most prominent in the materials that we have.
Yeah. FYI is specifically designed to assist young adults that are either currently experiencing homelessness or at very high risk of becoming homeless.
So really targeting those most in need.
Exactly. And one of the things I thought was really interesting about this is that it requires local public child welfare agencies and public housing authorities to work together.
So they have to collaborate.
They have to collaborate, yeah, because they're coming from, 2 different.
Right, they have different areas of expertise.
Exactly. And so this collaborative approach seems to be a key factor in, the success of the program.
Well, so speaking of success, what kind of results are we seeing in Texas with this program?
So they have some pretty encouraging numbers. So they have 21 public housing authorities across 7 regions in Texas that have partnered with DFPS for FYI.
Okay.
134 applications have been submitted, 66 vouchers have been issued, and 46 young adults have been housed.
Wow, so it's making a difference.
It is. But, even with these results, there are still challenges.
What kind of challenges?
Well, one thing is not everyone that applies for the program ends up receiving a voucher. And some of the reasons for this are, the young people change their minds sometimes.
Okay.
They're not ready. Or they decide not to go that route, or maybe there's limited housing available, or there's a lack of affordable housing.
Yeah, so it's almost like a bottleneck effect, right?
Uh.
You have these vouchers available, but then you run into the limitations of the housing market.
Exactly. And I think that highlights a really important point.
Yeah.
Even the most well-designed programs can't, fully address the problem without broader solutions to the housing crisis.
Yeah, so it's not just about creating these programs, but making sure there's actually housing stock available.
Right. And that's where, things get even more complex.
Yeah.
But, let's not lose sight of the fact that, 46 young adults housed is still,
Yeah, that's 46 people who have a place.
yeah, it's a significant accomplishment.
That's right. And the source material highlighted a young lady named Sid.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about her?
Yes. So Sid is a 20-year-old that was able to use the FYI program and get her own apartment. And, her journey really brings these statistics to life because she was initially hesitant about the program.
Understandable.
She was worried about the weight and all the logistics.
Well, right. Applying for any kind of assistance program can be pretty daunting.
Yeah. Especially when you're young
Right.
and having to navigate this all for the first time.
Yeah.
But she had a supportive case manager and PAL coordinator who encouraged her to, keep going. And in the end, she found a place that she loves.
It just seems like having someone in your corner
Yeah.
who believes in you and can help you through the process is so important.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the financial assistance. It's about that human connection,
Right.
that sense of support.
Yeah. So what happened when she got approved for the program? Was she able to find a place pretty easily?
She was eventually able to find a place, but it wasn't, without its challenges.
Right.
Again, limited housing availability, lack of affordable options.
Yeah. Right.
But her story really does highlight the importance of perseverance and having a support system in place.
And ultimately, she was successful. She found a place she could call home.
She did. And her words really resonated with me. She said, quote, "I love my apartment, and I'm so happy to call it my home," end quote.
Wow.
It just goes to show you the powerful impact that these programs can have.
It's not just about having a roof over your head. It's about having that sense of belonging,
Exactly.
having a place where you can feel safe and secure.
Absolutely. And for young adults that have aged out of foster care, that sense of stability can be transformative.
Yeah, a foundation upon which they can start building their future.
Exactly. And, Sid's story isn't just about one individual. It's a testament to the power of these partnerships between HUD PHAs and DFPS.
Yeah, it's a great example of collaboration being key.
Mm-hmm.
And when different entities can work together,
Yeah.
they can achieve some pretty incredible results.
They can.
Yeah.
And it's important to raise awareness about these programs.
Okay.
Both among the young people who could benefit from them and the people who work with them.
So that everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
And the chances of success increase.
Absolutely. The more people know about these resources, the more likely they are to be utilized effectively.
So we've talked a lot about the FYI, the Foster Youth to Independence, but what about these other programs?
Right.
The FUP and the Section 811.
Yeah.
I'm curious to learn more about those and how they might differ from FYI.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into those next.
Yeah.
So you're curious about FUP,
Yeah.
the Family Unification Program.
Yeah, and how it compares to the FYI.
Okay, so like FYI, FUP focuses on individuals and families who are at risk of homelessness.
Okay.
It's time limited to 36 months and is administered through local public housing authorities.
Okay, so structurally it sounds pretty similar.
It is similar,
The FYI.
but there is a difference.
Okay.
While FYI can assist individuals,
Right.
FUP seems to be primarily targeted towards families.
Okay, so it broadens the scope of support
Yes, it does.
to include families who are facing housing insecurity.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that brings us to Section 811 Project Rental Assistance, which has a totally different focus.
Yeah, this one sounded really interesting because it's geared towards young adults with disabilities.
Yes.
Right?
It caters specifically to individuals between the ages of 18 and 62
Okay.
who have disabilities.
Okay.
And what's interesting is, unlike the 36-month limit for FYI and FUP assistance through Section 811, is not time limited.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That long-term support could be really life-changing.
Right. It provides that, much needed stability and peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
Allowing these individuals to focus on other aspects of their lives
Right.
without having to worry about, losing their housing.
So all three of these programs target different populations
Yeah.
who are
Yes.
facing housing insecurity.
Right.
But they all have their own unique approach. So it seems like Texas is really trying to cover all the bases here.
The source material emphasizes that all three of these programs should be top priorities when creating housing plans for young adults that are transitioning out of foster care.
Okay, so knowing what resources are out there
Yeah.
and how to access them is crucial for those who are working with this population.
Yes. And it's also important to remember that even if these specific programs aren't available in, a particular location,
Right.
there might be other options like, traditional Section 8 vouchers or even emergency housing vouchers.
So there's often more than one path to finding housing.
Yeah.
It's just about, knowing what's out there and how to kind of navigate the system.
Right. And Texas seems to be actively working to streamline that navigation process.
Yeah.
They've even created a dedicated youth housing specialist position at DFPS.
Okay, so they're really committed to tackling this issue
Yeah,
and making sure these young people
Yeah.
have the support they need.
they are. And they're not stopping.
Yeah.
Their plan focuses on building stronger partnerships with public housing authorities,
Yeah.
increasing awareness about these rental assistance programs, and boosting referrals.
So it's a multi-pronged approach. They're making the programs more accessible,
Right.
increasing their reach, and making sure more young people benefit. Yeah.
Exactly. They're creating a more robust and accessible support system.
Hmm.
And they even state that, these rental assistance programs can be instrumental in ending homelessness for youth aging out of foster care.
That's a bold statement.
It is.
But after learning about these programs and their impact, I don't think it's far-fetched.
It's not. It really speaks volumes about their confidence in the effectiveness of these initiatives. And they're backing it up with concrete actions. But let's circle back to Sid's story for a moment.
Yeah.
Because her journey really highlights the human impact of these programs.
Yeah.
I
was just thinking the same thing. It's easy to get kind of lost in the statistics and program details.
Yeah.
But her experience really brings it all back down to earth. you know?
Mm-hmm.
She had reservations about applying, but her case manager and her PL coordinator encouraged her, and look at the outcomes. She got a place of her own.
Yeah, and it's amazing what a little encouragement and support can do,
It
right?
really is.
And it underscores that vital role that those case managers and those PL coordinators play
Mhm.
in guiding these young adults through the process.
It's more than just processing paperwork.
Uh-huh.
It's about building trust and offering guidance and just being a cheerleader along the way.
It's about empowering them to believe in themselves
Yeah.
and their ability to create a better future. So the source also mentions that the Family Unification Program, or FUP,
Okay.
has seen some successes as well.
Oh, really? What kind of numbers are we talking about for FUP?
So Texas actually has 26 FUP partnerships with public housing authorities across the state.
Okay.
And based on the HUD dashboard, Texas has been awarded over 1,000 FUP vouchers,
Wow.
with 718 young adults successfully leasing places.
That's incredible. It sounds like FUP is really making a difference in preventing homelessness for families.
It is, but it's also worth noting that even with these successes, there are still challenges.
Such as?
So the source points out that even when vouchers are awarded,
Okay.
local PHAs might not be able to issue them
Oh.
due to, budgetary constraints or other administrative hurdles. So, it highlights the complexity of navigating these systems.
Yeah.
And the need for continued advocacy and support.
Yeah. So even with well-intentioned programs,
Uh,
there can be roadblocks.
Yes.
And it's about constantly working to refine the process
yeah,
and address those challenges.
it is. So what about Section 811?
Yeah.
The source provides some insights into that program as well.
Okay. I'm all ears. We haven't delved too deeply into Section 811 yet.
So it seems that they're still working to ramp up participation in Section 811.
Okay.
According to the document, Texas DFPS has submitted 36 applications and has housed 11 young adults with disabilities so far.
So the numbers are smaller
Yeah,
compared to FYI and FUP,
Yeah.
but still a step in the right direction.
absolutely. And they're actively working to remove barriers,
Okay.
increase referrals, and ultimately boost placements.
Okay.
They've conducted statewide training sessions and have over 30 new registered Section 811 referral agents.
Wow. So they're really investing in
Yeah.
building capacity and expertise to make sure the program reaches those who
Yeah.
need it.
It's all about ensuring, the long-term sustainability and impact of the program.
Right.
They recognize that these are valuable resources,
Right.
but implementation is just the first step.
Right. Outreach, education, ongoing support
Uh-huh.
are all crucial for long-term success.
Absolutely. It's about making sure that those who are eligible know about the program and have the support they need to navigate that application process.
Exactly.
And speaking of support, the document highlights the importance of having comprehensive housing plans for these young adults.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, having a clear plan in place can make that transition process much smoother.
Like a roadmap.
It is like a roadmap. It
Yeah.
provides a sense of direction,
Yeah.
helps assess housing readiness, explores, different options, and ultimately guides them towards the best path for securing safe and affordable housing.
So it's a holistic approach that considers individual needs and circumstances.
Exactly. And there's one region in Texas that seems to be excelling with the FYI program.
Oh, which one?
Region 10 in West Texas. They have some remarkable numbers.
Really? What have they accomplished?
They have 14 young adults currently living in their own apartments using FYI vouchers, with another 5 in the application process.
Wow, those are some impressive numbers. Are they doing anything different in Region 10?
Well, the source attributes their success to the strong partnership they've cultivated between HUD,
Okay.
the local public housing authority, and DFPS.
Okay.
Collaboration seems to be the key ingredient here.
Yeah, that echoes what we've seen with the other programs as well.
Right.
When different stakeholders work together
Yes,
towards a common goal, the results really speak for themselves.
they do, and they also prioritize raising awareness and understanding of these programs.
Yeah,
The more people know about them,
right.
the more likely they are to be utilized effectively.
It's about breaking down those barriers to information
Yeah.
and making these resources readily available.
Yes, and Molly Wagner, the Region 10 PL coordinator, sums it up beautifully.
Okay.
She says, quote, "We are thrilled to have these rental assistance program options for our young adults leaving the system and starting their next journey in their life without having to worry about having a roof over their heads," end quote.
That's Beautiful.
Yeah, it really captures the essence of what these programs are all about.
Right, providing that foundation of stability and hope
Uh-huh.
for these young people.
As they embark on their independent lives,
Yeah.
she encourages staff and youth to explore these programs, screen for eligibility, and apply as part of their housing plan.
She seems very dedicated to making a difference
She is.
in the lives of others.
Yeah, she embodies that collaborative spirit that we've been talking about.
Right.
Working tirelessly to connect these young people with the resources that they need.
And she stresses the importance of that housing plan.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Emphasizing that it's not just about finding any housing,
Right.
but finding the right housing
Yeah.
that meets their individual needs and sets them up for success.
Yeah, it's about empowering them to make informed choices and really take ownership of their future.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
It's about giving them the tools and the support they need to not just survive, but thrive.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I've learned so much about these programs and their impact.
I'm glad.
What about you? What stands out to you the most from everything we've talked about?
I think what struck me the most is the resilience of these young adults.
Yeah.
And the dedication of the people working to support them.
Yeah.
Even in the face of, significant challenges.
Right.
They're finding ways to create a brighter future.
It's a real testament to the human spirit and the power of collective action.
It is. And speaking of collective action,
Yes.
the source ends with a practical call to action for our listeners.
Oh, what do they suggest?
So they encourage anyone who wants to learn more about these youth-targeted rental assistance programs to reach out to their local public housing authorities or connect with the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services State Office Youth Housing Specialist.
Okay, great place to start for anyone who's feeling inspired to take action or just learn more about what's available in their community.
Yeah.
Sometimes just knowing where to look is the biggest hurdle.
Right.
This has been really eye-opening for me. I feel like I've gained a much deeper understanding
I'm glad.
of these programs and their impact.
Yeah, me too.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of this issue.
Right.
But then you see success stories like Sid's.
Right.
And it reinforces the idea that positive change is possible.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about the programs themselves, but it's about the individuals who are working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The case managers, the PL coordinators, the housing specialists, all those folks who are really going above and beyond to make a difference.
Yeah, their dedication and compassion really shine through.
They're the unsung heroes of this story.
They really are.
You know what I'm taking away from this deep dive? Is a renewed sense of hope
Good.
and belief in the power of collective action.
Right.
The challenges are complex, but there are solutions out there. And there are people who are passionate and are working really hard to implement those solutions and create a brighter future for these young adults.
Yeah, beautifully said. And I think it's a reminder that we can all play a role in supporting these young people.
Right.
Whether it's through volunteering, donating, advocating for policy changes, or just spreading awareness.
Right. Every action counts.
Yeah, it's not about waiting for someone else to fix it. It's about recognizing that we all have a part to play.
Exactly. And you never know, sometimes the smallest actions can have the biggest ripple effects.
That's right.
So maybe this deep dive will spark an idea for one of our listeners or ignite a passion or inspire someone to take action in their own community.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because ultimately, every young person deserves a safe and stable place to call home a foundation from which they can build a really fulfilling and meaningful life.
That's right. I agree.
Well, until next time, keep diving deep. And remember, even small actions can create big waves of change.
That's right.